Hello and thank you for joining for another beer review here on Jimbowalks. Today we're actually reviewing two beers that are fairly similar but very different in certain ways. So I thought it was a great opportunity to compare these two very popular beers here in Spain and especially here in Andalusia in the south of Spain. Number one is Victoria Malaga Lager. Number two, Alhambra Singular. Now for the Alhambra is from Granada, here where I live, and the Victoria Malaga is, of course, as the name suggests, Málaga. It's una cerveza malagueña. These two beers actually have quite similar taste profiles. They are both lagers, and as anyone that has viewed my other beer reviews will know that I generally have a preference for ale over lager, but these are, I would say, two of the most popular options, especially here in the south of Spain. The Alhambra is 5.4%. It is a pale lager, so even on the lager chart, it's further down in terms of the character and the body and the intensity, but it is 5.4%, so it's a little on the stronger side for a pale lager. Victoria is in many ways very similar. It's a relatively light body. It has lighter tones of fruit, citrus, the aroma, hoppy flavour. It's all there, but it's really taken down a level in comparison to some of the beers we've looked at on the previous reviews. And of the two, my preference would definitely be the Victoria. Now, the reason why I prefer the Victoria is that whilst these two are very similar, I think that Victoria is taken up a level in almost every area. So it's still not an amazing beer. I wouldn't even say that it's great, but it's good. It's definitely a good beer. The comparison between these two beers is really an excellent example that strength, in terms of alcohol strength, is not everything by far. As I mentioned, the Alhambra is 5.4%, the Victoria is 4.8%, but there's far more intensity in the flavour. It's a richer, deeper, more textured flavour in the Victoria, without a doubt. Now there are 4 or 5 really popular Alhambra drinks, but there are probably a dozen or more in terms of like more kind of limited edition varieties. There are some really excellent Alhambra drinks. Alhambra is the drink of Granada. It's brewed here in Granada, and you could do a lot worse, absolutely. But this particular one is like the base level, and for me, it's pretty much the worst one of all of them. It's not terrible, it's drinkable, it's acceptable, but it's really nothing great. I would drink it, but I wouldn't buy it. Definitely not. The Victoria, however, I would. I would never really want to have more than a couple of these just because it's super gassy in my opinion, as is the Alhambra. As with most lagers, I feel quite bloated after drinking it, to be honest. All this talking has made me thirsty. Let's do a taste test as well. First, the Victoria from Malaga. Yeah, you see, it's not a million miles away from a slightly lower quality IPA or a bitter ale. It's not too far. It does come close to some depth in some of those areas, like the hoppiness, the fruitiness, the citrus notes coming through. The complexity, it gets close to being not bad, but it just falls short. It's just not quite there, for my liking at least. I should have done this the other way around, really, shouldn't I? Next, let's take a look at the Alhambra Singular. They're both a little shaken up. They're cold, but they've been in my bag. They are quite similar. The profile is really quite similar, actually. But it's just that the Alhambra is like taken down a level. It's dialed down. All of the intensity is taken right down. And it's a pale lager, so I would expect that. Going from the Alhambra Singular to the Victoria Malaga, it just takes it up a level. You can taste the difference is immediate. It's heavier, it's richer. It also tastes slightly more... It tastes more organic as well, a little bit more natural. There's not much in it, guys, in all honesty. There is a difference in the intensity, there's a difference in the quality. I can taste the difference, definitely. But really, they're much of a muchness, and my final advice on this would be just, I would potentially ditch both of these options and go for a better lager. I'll recommend some of those in a future video. So, in summary, these two lagers, very similar in many ways, but the Victoria is better in virtually any way that you could compare these two. It's not miles better, but it's certainly a good beer. I like to drink Victoria. I have fond memories of drinking this when I lived in Málaga previously. The Alhambra Singular, this particular Alhambra, it's crucial that we make the distinction here, because there are others on draft that are really delicious, and this is just one that even on draft, it's substandard in my opinion. It's pretty poor. It's not as bad as something like Mau or Cruz Campo. Both are beers that I'll review in future, although I really don't want to. But I think that, you know, I want to give a more detailed assessment of Mau and Cruz Campo, since I'm constantly slating them. This is way better than those two, but that's not saying much. Thank you so much for watching today's beer review. I hope you enjoyed the comparison. I hope it was interesting. I wanted to introduce my viewers to the most popular beers here in Andalusia in the south of Spain. These are household names. They are consumed across the country actually, and it was kind of interesting, more a challenge in certain ways, to take a really standard, nothing special, but there's nothing wrong with it, kind of beer. It's been interesting. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate your support. Please drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, share with friends and family, support the channel in any way you can. It's always appreciated. Thank you so much. Take care.